guys, welcome to Yakety Mac. I am Jeff. I appreciate you checking out the channel. Today I'm going to do a review and discussion of the depth finder that I chose for both my Kayak and my Pelican Bass Raider 10E. And it is the Deeper Pro Plus 2. Now, when I look at kayak fishing forums or Pelican forums or small boat forums, one of the most common questions I see people asking over and over again is, hey, what depth finder do you recommend? And more times than not, the answer to that is the Garmin Striker 4. And I'm sure it is an absolutely fantastic depth finder. I don't have any personal experience with it. But when I went looking for one for my needs, I did not want to have to mount a transducer. I did not want to have to run wires through the hull. I didn't want to have to go out and get a separate battery. So I was looking for something portable. I intentionally Googled portable depth finders. And what I stumbled across was this. And this has been absolutely fantastic for me. Now, I don't need fancy details in my graph, although this will give them to you. All I really need to know is how deep am I, what's the structure like, and what temperature is the water. I'm from the Midwest, transplant here to the South, so I'm fishing in the middle of November, and of course my mindset is, hey, this water is cold. Not so much here. Having that information is very valuable to me. So the other thing that was really cool is that I didn't have to buy a monitor. When I started researching this little doozy right here, one of the things that struck me was, hey, use a cell phone. And your cell phone doesn't even have to be activated. It doesn't have to have a SIM card in it. So use an old cell phone. Go to Walmart and buy a $40 cell phone. All you need is a cell phone that when you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can download the Fish Deeper app. Once you have that done, that's all you need. When you're out on the water and this thing gets wet, it turns on a Wi-Fi signal and the phone picks it up. Now you connect to the Wi-Fi signal via your phone. You can do that one time and then it remembers the Wi-Fi, and now you just launch the app every time you go out. And I'm going to go out on the water here and show you this in action and show it to you with me on the water doing some fishing. So let me tell you a little bit about this. First of all, it is not only is it great for use on a boat, but if you're a bank fisherman, it's got this little attachment right here at the top. Bring this in a little closer so you can see that. You can connect this to a fishing pole, cast out from the bank, reel it back in, look at your phone, and it'll show you what the structure is like. It'll show you any drop-offs. It'll show you any of that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool. And of course, it'll do the same thing on the boat as well. But I actually purchased separately a mounting arm that I'll show it to you right here. And again, you're going to see this when I get out on the water. This is the mounting arm here, and it's simply on Kayak. Most kayaks have track mounts. It simply goes into your track mount. It's bendable, flexible. You simply attach your ball to this, let it ride in the water. This arm articulates up and down, so the ball floats and sends the signal to your reception of choice. I use an old cell phone. If you don't have an old cell phone, I'm pretty sure you have a family or friend that does. That's all you need. It doesn't even have to be activated. I want to make that clear. So, and it's got an internal battery. Now, the website says it lasts up to 9 hours. I had it go out on me, run out of juice at about 8.5 hours. So that was pretty close. I was fishing my very first kayak tournament, and about 8.5 hours of being on, and it died. But hey, look, that's to be expected. But what's really cool is that it'll charge to 80, I think it's 80% in 45 minutes. So if you've got one of the little spare batteries, and I'll show you that when we're out on the water as well, I carry a couple of those little, like 10, 12 bucks for a spare battery. You could charge this thing back up in no time. So it comes apart just like this here, and it's got this little flap. It's got the connecting piece right there, and you plug it in right there. Pop it into a USB, whether it be on a computer or if you've got an outlet with a USB, and it charges up. And it'll flash like a yellow or orange light. It flashes while it's charging. When it's done, it turns green, and you know it's charged up and ready to go. And then you just put the two pieces back together. You can see there where it says you line these two pieces up, turn it about a quarter turn that way, and then you bring it in, and it really starts to smash down on that seal. And you bring it to where those two marks line up right there, and you're good to go. It is waterproof, and it's fantastic. I can't wait for you guys to see some of the detail that it gives you back when it's sending the signal to the phone when you're actually using it. And what I love is that I put a track mount on my bass raider. So when I'm not using the kayak and I'm taking the bass raider out, I just take these two things with me, right? And so I don't have to have a separate depth finder for the bass raider. I just use this right here. Love this little thing. Now let's talk about cost. Currently, right now, this particular one, it's $270 on the website. Not cheap, but no depth finder is really. And then this mounting arm here is about another $75 or so. So you'll probably be all in for about $350 for this thing here, assuming again that you've got an old phone or a friend or a family member does that you can use. If you've got to go to Walmart and buy a $30 or $40 prepaid type phone, just don't activate it. You could do that as well. That puts you in the closer to the $400. But now you don't have to run wiring. You don't have to have another battery and so forth. So guys, let's get this out on the water and let me show you how it works in action. And let me know if you've got any questions. Looking forward to this one. Okay guys, we are on the water and I have my deeper probe transducer ball attached to the arm. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to lower this down into the water so that it floats on the top. Just like that. And once you do, it recognizes that it's in water and it begins to transmit a Wi-Fi signal. And so you launch your Deeper app on your phone, whichever phone that you're using. You do a connect, looking for Wi-Fi, it has found it, and now it starts displaying the information. Takes a second here to read. Too shallow, too deep, there we go. So as you can see, we're on 4 foot of water. We've got a water temperature here of 75.9. And over here you have your settings. You can do history, catches, your places, your trophy board. You can take pictures. You can do all this sort of stuff in here to set it up. You can change in your settings over here. You can change your beam angle. You can see that this is at the narrow. You can change your beam to a medium. And you can change the frequency to a very wide angle. And it's going to show you the difference there. The more narrow, the more detail it's going to give you. I like to keep it here on the medium. It's got an auto switch beam for shallow water scanning. And of course you have your sensitivity up there as well. So it really has everything that you need from a depth finder perspective. And of course, being on a cell phone screen, the images come across very, very sharp. As you can see, we've got some vegetation on the bottom, but not a lot of activity from a fish perspective. And then the other good thing about this as well is that your cell phone batteries tend to last a pretty good while. But if they don't, you can easily buy one of those, $10 battery packs that last you all day long that you can simply hook in and charge your phone while you're using this. If at any time the ball needs repositioned in the water for whatever reason, maybe you didn't get it set right the first time, I'll lift the ball up here and you will watch it. Too shallow, too deep. It knows that it's out of the water now, especially once it dries off. It's still a little bit wet. And once that ball dries off, it'll say out of the water. I'll just simply put that back down. And it picks right back up from where it left off. Because this isn't a huge typical monitor, you can really mount this anywhere. So right now, just for the display purposes of this video, I've got it mounted here on a Yak Attack camera mount. But normally I keep it mounted right up here by my front hatch on a pop socket mount. And that is attached down to the kayak. And then I have a pop socket on the back of the phone that I simply slide into there so it stays up and out of the way. So as you can see here, I've got it mounted back on my pop socket mount, and I've attached one of the portable batteries I was telling you about. So I'm good to go now. It's been running for about 3 hours. My battery was down to about 40%, 30 to 40%. And so I just hooked it up to one of those right there. It'll run the rest of the day now, no matter how long I'm out here. Well, within reason. It's going to run the rest of the day. You can see the ball just kind of floats there along the top as you're going. It doesn't really create any drag or anything on the kayak. And of course you see I'll rock the kayak back and forth here, and you can see that that articulating arm will bounce that ball up and down so that it floats pretty much where you need it. Once you set it, I very seldom, if ever, have to readjust it. If you have any questions, guys, please let me know. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that like button. Share this video if you would. And remember, no matter what you've got going on, always take time to get outside and play.